So welcome back here to the 2013 PSP West Coast Open. Matty Marsh alongside Nikki Cuba and Todd Martinez. And we are about to watch AC402 play DC Devastation for the D2 final. We've seen DC Devastation here before. We've seen AC402 here before. These guys are not unfamiliar with the deep water in the divisional ranks. And we're about to see which one of these two teams wants it more. We throw 15 minutes on the clock. We're now into a race to 5 points instead of 4. And D1 is the same way, so.
AC dropping one body, two bodies actually off Dorito side, giving the opening for DC Devastation to fly down, which they do in Dorito 1. But we have a minor penalty assessed to DC Devastation.
So DC Devastation gonna lose one body.
3-on-3 situation. AC actually spreading the field to help out on the Dorito side, but they also gain the 50 snake.
Yeah, so AC402 in really good field position over here, snake side of the field at the 50. Good way to start out this point here. Yep. And they are in dominant field position, and he has a back player as well, so it's going to be up to DC Devastation to counter with something, either on the Dorito side. They definitely can't go up the center. That's the problem, actually. The push is going to have to come snake side, because within that 50, you can just dominate those lanes in the center of the field. Or shoot him out of his bunker.
Great snapshot.
Wow.
One ball from the Dorito side tower. Now, right now, you chill out, you weather the storm. If you're DC Devastation, you get your guy out of the box, you gain another body, you win this point, and now you regroup when you go back in there. You figure out what you did wrong off the break.
So AC402, yeah, I mean, you have to regroup, because when you get a guy, they need to regroup now, though, midpoint, because if you got a guy that's got a great field position, they still are, AC402 is still up a body right now. They have Land, Roberts, and Homer, and they're still out there against Swanson and Bowen. So AC402, though they now have, they don't have as good field position as DC Devastation, because DC Devastation they have a player in the snake, and the player from AC402 who's on the snake side, he is basically just dedicating his gun towards that Dorito side of the field.
Yeah, Bowen over here, number 17 in the snake, now crawls into snake 2. Looks like he's trying to get a shot in on the Dorito 1 of AC402.
DC walks off that Dorito side.
Yeah, so Bowen's gonna be the only player left now for DC Dev.
And he dips back, I'm sorry, AC402 dips back, try to get a shot on Bowen here in the snake. He's listening to his sideline coach. I think that's actually Steve Rabikoff down there yelling.
Well, DC's still in good position, even though they have that one guy in the snake. He has that snake coach, which is a big advantage for the guy that's in front of you. All you have to do right now is concentrate on the Dorito side. Try and clip that guy either, you know, snapping with you, or trying to extend the field and get up into D2.
Well, it's just a 2-on-1. You know, the 2-on-1 isn't out of the realm of possibility to be able to win. And he gets one shot in.
One-on-one situation now.
Player got shot in the head, had to be pulled out, checked his goggles. So now it is a 1-on-1 as Bowen comes up out of the snake.
I mean, my team was in the same situation as 1-on-1. It looks like AJ Trillett, same move, coming in there. DC Devastation pulls it out.
Pulls off the 2-on-1.
You know, Infamous had that same situation come up twice, and we wound up losing both of those. It's good to see, you know, DC Devastation come out. The guy was aggressive. He had control. He had the momentum. He shot that guy out, and he closed out the field.
Yeah.
I mean, he just put the team on his back.
There is no other way to get your team excited and ready to win a tournament than if you go out the first point. Looks like you're not going to win the point, because everyone's going to be staring, watching, wondering what's going to happen. And everyone on DC Devastation was like, oh, God, it's not looking good. Bowen, last player left alive, pulls off a 2-on-1 here to give his team the early lead. So 1-0 is the score with 11 minutes and 33 seconds to play here in the D2 final. So DC Devastation look pretty solid here on the back of Robert Bowen's play. We'll be right back after this.
Check this out. The Imperial program from GI Sports. Get 100% of your paint money back in cash. Sign up, win, paint's free. Take second, get half your paint cash back. Not good enough? How about more cash? Have your team rock our V-Force GI logo grills, get first place, then we'll throw you another $1,000 cash. Second place? No problem. We got $500 with your name on it. It's a total no-brainer. Sign up for the Imperial program at gisports.com. paintballdojo.com. Support your favorite pro teams. Get your name printed on pro team gear. paintballdojo.com. Lifestyle gear for players. Full color and completely custom options. You can build a custom design straight from our website. Gear available for both men and women. paintballdojo.com. Lifestyle gear for players.
So AC402 looking pretty good to start out this match, but didn't matter. Robert Bowen stepped up, won that 2-on-1. DC Devastation scores the first point. Bowen, 3 confirmed kills for him in this first game. Philip Swanson also got 2. So Brandon Rabakoff, Luigi Pirandella,
DC
Galini.
dropping 2 bodies off the Dorito side on the break. AC looking like they have 5 alive. 3 bodies for DC Devastation now. Dropping.
Brandon Rabakoff on the fill out to the Dorito Tower. Coming down right now into
And
the
he
50.
looks like he gets a shot on him, and he does for the snake side. Brings it to a, 1-on-4 situation.
Just overextending out
Just
there.
Brandon Rabakoff.
Yeah, Brandon Rabakoff and Philip Swanson gets taken out, so just Brandon to try to do something crazy here. But, you know, here's the scary thing for DC Devastation. AC402, they lost that first point, but they're controlling the tempo of this game. So DC Devastation is going to need to counter that in order to try to make an effective push towards getting this victory here.
And that's going to do it. Brandon Rabakoff going to trade with one of the AC402 players over there on the Dorito side. Plenty of bodies still alive. AC402 going to even it up.
Let's check in with Lauren Kelly on the sidelines. Lauren, how is DC Devastation doing down there?
Hey guys, I'm down here on the sidelines with Alex Rudolph. Now you guys have won 5, tied 1 game this entire weekend. How has this field layout played to your strengths?
Really, we're trying to push both sides, push up the middle. We have some of the best back guys and some of the smartest players in this division. We have Brandon Rabakoff. He's awesome up the middle or anywhere on the field, really. We're just trying to play smart paintball and trying to get this win.
All right, we'll see if they can execute those plays and play smart paintball. Stay tuned.
JT First Shot and JT SplatMaster challenges you to introduce someone into our great sport of paintball. We're offering a free Z100 pistol with a purchase of a Z100, Z200, or Z300 JT SplatMaster marker for this weekend only. Place an order, give the Z100 pistol to a friend of yours that doesn't play, and help our sport grow. Visit freez100.com and order today.
So yeah, definitely go to freez100.com and take advantage of that offer here during the webcast to get a free JT SplatMaster. Now, Nikki, you've been traveling the country, doing a lot of SplatMaster stuff. Talk to me a little bit about how that's going.
I mean, it's been such a great time being able to drop knowledge on the young youth of the world, basically. I was in New Zealand, I was in Minnesota, in the past 2 weeks, and being able to show these kids and these parents this game at a slower tempo, of course, that we play.
Well, that's a cool thing. Well, I'm sorry, go
smaller
ahead.
feet per second than we play. That is more welcoming to the sport.
Well, the thing about these young kids is that, if you're playing 68 caliber paintball and you're 8 years old, you're going to scare kids away. And you don't want to be scaring kids away from the game. You want them to embrace the game, and with that 50 caliber paintball, doesn't hurt as much. It's just going to be able to introduce a lot of players into paintball. So here we go. DC Devastation gets an early shot on Nathan Roberts.
They also lose Brandon Rabakoff off of their snake side. They adjusted, they switched him coming out to the snake side. And now it is a 4-on-4 situation. And a ref is running down the AC side, checking out the corner player for Dorito, and he gets a major penalty.
Oh, so AC.
And that's going to pull out 2 bodies.
That's going to do it
That's
for
going
this
to leave
point.
1 guy alive for AC against 4. If DC could figure that out, drop the hammer, save some time on that major penalty.
Well, it's just a matter of time until they figure it out. So here it
Here
comes.
is Rudolph running down, giving him a little extra.
Deuce in the building. Luigi Pirgalini, Stephen Bright coming down that Dorito side, number 2 for DC Devastation. Gonna go up 2-1 over AC402 on that major penalty over there in the Dorito corner. Man, I tell you, without the penalty box, when you get a major penalty, it really throws a wrench in your gears.
It does.
On one of these points.
Yeah, they're just hiding right now, just sucking time off that clock as the seconds starting to tick off, waiting for AC402 to concede the point. Finally, they do. So now, even though it was tied 1-1, DC Devastation, with that major penalty, that was
2-1 with 9 minutes left. I mean, still got a lot of time.
Yeah, there's a lot of time left. It's a race to 5, and we're going to be right back after this.
I am down here in AC's pit with Steven Smoko. Okay, so you guys have won 5, lost 1, right? You're going into this point, 1 body down. What's your strategy to make sure they don't get an advantage on that point?
We honestly just got to live off the break and win the first 10 seconds of the game. Just got to get the G's off the break and not get penalties. Penalties are just killing us right now. As soon as we play 5 alive, there's no one that can stop us.
How do you feel this layout plays to your strengths?
It's good. We're tearing up the snake side and the D side. We're playing aggressive, and that's just AC paintball.
All right, we've got 38 seconds. We'll see who takes this point.
Well, AC definitely has played some good paintball this year, along with a lot of teams from that area of the world, because they're doing pretty solid across the divisions. And, you know, Texas paintball making a huge comeback. But AC down a point against DC Devastation. So they send a pretty solid lineup out to play this next point for Devastation. Rabikoff, Haynes, Rudolph, Swanson, and Luigi out there, the captain of the team.
AC's very confident, though. You see it in that,
that interview. Absolutely.
Interview right there, and I like to see that.
You need the confidence.
And DC drops a body off the break going snake side, 2 bodies.
Oh, Rabikoff and Rudolph both leaving at the same time right there.
And that is harsh. AC dropping only 1 body off the break. 3-on-4 situation.
Yeah, so AC402 now with the 1 body advantage.
Oh, big move
Oh,
for
but
DC,
gets
but they
caught
lose
up.
that guy.
Luigi Piergolini trying to go from that tower, skip Dorito 1,
I mean,
straight to Dorito 2, should have
Can't
stayed.
say it enough. Maddie used to tell me, to give you an inch, take an inch. Don't take a foot. They gave him the first Dorito, and he went to the second Dorito, got blown up. He could have saved that game by getting in there, looking crossfield, chopping up bodies. Instead, you know, just trying to be a superstar.
Yeah, well, you want to take small bites, because that election, if you see the lane, yes, take that move, but small bites allow you to let the game develop. And yeah, you want to take advantage of the situation that presents itself, but you know, you're taking a risk, and when you're in the final match like that, sometimes it's going to bite you. So Sam Haynes, last player left alive for DC Devastation, looking at 3 bodies for AC402.
AC coming through, but chop out that last corner guy for DC Devastation. Get the point, tie it up, 2-2, 7:48 left on the clock.
And
It's a good game.
You know, Matty, you're right. AC402 still kind of dictating the tempo of this game.
It's from the buzzer. I mean, from the start of the buzzer, they have their guns up faster, and they are shooting out the snake side, which is,
the dominant
I think,
side of the
the dominant side of the field. If you get there, it's the dominant side of the field. If you don't, of course, I mean, you're hurting your team. So that's why I believe a lot of the pro teams were going shorter on the snake side, but giving 2 bodies to that side, 3 bodies, so that when you do make it, you do have, you know, the relief factor of having those bodies there already, instead of having to fill from the center.
Yeah, it's a tough fill out on this field. Those gaps are pretty big, and we know that by now. Every single team out here has watched this field develop as things have progressed throughout the event. So we'll see how things shake down. We get back here all tied up 2 apiece. See you in a second. So though it is definitely hot out here, beautiful day in Riverside, California at the A.B. Brown Sports Complex for closing games of the 2013 PSP West Coast Open. Matty Marshall alongside paintball legend Nikki Cuba, played for lots of top teams over the years, and we're glad to have him up here. Infamous not playing like they would like to, but still contending in the Champions Division. Now here we go, all tied up at 2 apiece. AC402 and DC Devastation. 7 minutes and 40 seconds remain in this game.
Both of them stacking up 2 players in the back, getting guns up. DC losing 2 players off Snake's side immediately.
Now look at this though, Nikki and Todd. Big moves by AC. Todd, just like we were saying, AC they're controlling the tempo of this game.
Well, Philip Swanson took a really big bite trying to fill out to that back corner and got clipped, and Rabikoff got shot right at the same time. Forced Luigi Piergolini to try and come out here to the Snake side, but he got blown up as AC402 came all the way into the Snake 50. Luigi trying to come over here and get into a spot where he could put some pressure on him, but just too much AC402 being disciplined and locking off zones and shooting fillers. 2 bodies off of DC Devastation Snake side. Just going to open up the door for AC402 to come into the Snake and now start bolting up the middle.
Yeah, Devastation ends up blowing that buzzer to preserve some of the time. They're going to lose the point, though, as DC Devastation just controlling the tempo and the pace of this match. And, yeah, Devastation now going down a point here in this race to 5, so AC402 2 points away from victory in this D2 final matchup. We've seen DC Devastation, though, come back, be able to get into some matches. We saw them play, I think it's the only shootout we've seen all year long, because how things work on Sunday in the finals and semifinals and the relegation games is that if there is a tie at the end of regulation time, then we head to a 3-minute overtime period. And if there is no victor in that 3-minute overtime period, then you head to a shootout. And I would love to see a shootout again. This game's pretty close. We've already seen DC Devastation in that situation before. Could it happen again? I think absolutely. You never know.
Definitely possible. I mean, but you're seeing right now AC right off the break controlling the dominant side of the field.
Yep.
The Snake side of the field is getting blown up, and they are not letting them fill out. When they're going to fill out, they're getting blown up again. And AC is able to get out here. So what DC needs to do is put their guns up on the Snake side and match them, so that then it's going to be, a one-on-one situation on the Snake side, and let the Doritos side kind of play out the game.
Well, the Doritos side has a lot of options too, but it's definitely not the side that's been dictating the pace of the game and winning points as much as the Snake side. So yeah, just like you said, when you have a situation, Todd, I mean, talk me through that from a coach's perspective. How do you pull those when you change plays up? What do you say to those guys that need to make those crucial shots on the Snake side over here that really dictates everything?
Well, the way that this field, we talked about this before, like this field is really cut and dry. Okay, the lanes are there. And what we saw in the Pro Division, people are going to the same spots every time, because it's really, you can go to that temple or you can go to the corner. And those are the 2 easiest shots on the field. But you can go short, but if you go short just to the mini Dorito, it's kind of hard to get out of there if you don't shoot anybody on the other side. So what it really boils down to is you might as well try and take that temple or that corner, and you have to hit the guys down on the other field. So what this field comes down to is, do you hit your shots or not? What you can't do is what DC Devastation just did right there, which is get out to their spots alive. But when you have a guy in the temple and the mini Dorito, back center guy does not need to try and fill out to the corner. As the Russian Legion has shown, they've gotten out wherever they wanted, and even when they've lost bodies, they've been able to lock it down and still fight out of those spots.
So let's check in. Lauren, how do you think things are going on in the DC Devastation pits over there? Can they come back and try to dictate the pace of this game? Let's check in with Lauren.
It's going good down there. The guys are trying to stay pumped. Steven Rabikoff is down here trying to tell them it's only 1 point. They're still in this game. They were a little flustered for a second. They're trying to figure out what line they were going to run, but they seem like they have it under control, and they're ready to go out this and try to tie it up again.
Well, thanks, Lauren. Well, got ourselves about 45 seconds before the start of this next point. Now, don't go anywhere. After this game, we have VCK taking on Revo in the D1 final. And then Upton 187 crew is going to be taking on Chicago Aftershock. I'm really looking forward to seeing that game, because 187, man, they played awesome in the prelims and then during the semifinals to get to this matchup. And Chicago Aftershock played that crazy game with all those hot guns against the Tauntauns, so they're ready to try to win a Challengers tournament here. in the professional division. And then, of course, we have that championship matchup. Can't wait to see that one, as Impact is going to be taking on Moscow Red Legion, or Tempe Damage, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be a crazy game.
Coming up on 3 seconds.
And AC402 again, doubling up guns. But DC Dev does a good job of shooting one of those guns out of that back center and shooting the guy going to the snake side corner. So quickly, 2 bodies drop off the field of AC402, and DC Devastation able to keep all their bodies alive, and now on the hunt.
Brandon Rabakov jumping in there. He's asking for a check, but he gets blown up, just trying a little bit too much.
Yeah, Brandon Rabakov overextending there on the Dorito side towards the center. But DC Devastation first to go on this snake side of the field, and he has this whole side. If he could just get low, he doesn't need to stop at that spot. Yeah, there's shots from there. Hopefully he can get a kill from there, but he can get a lot more kills if he moves his way down the field.
Exactly, Matty. I mean, right now he needs to have his coach or just his own knowledge of this field to just drop down, crawl the length of the snake to their side, and he could have a 3-pack.
Yeah,
and
well,
that, I mean,
there's nothing stopping him, but you have to know that. I mean, we're in the finals right now. There's no reason to not know that, hey, there's a couple lanes you got to worry about, but now he's got a back player. Ooh, did he
that
get
separates
clipped,
the divisions, though. Separates Division 1, Division 2, to Challengers, and to the Champions Division.
Yeah, but they are definitely roasting that angle right there by the 50-yard, roasting the 50-yard line bunker on the snake side of the field. You can see that's number 17, Robert Bowen, who actually has had a pretty good event for DC Devastation, and you know, he's one of those main guys over here that needs to do work in order for Devastation to have a chance to win. Good, there he goes, nice job, Bowen. Now, and there's a kill cross field, so this is gonna make it a little bit easier for him on this snake side there on your screen. He's not looking at anybody. He's playing like there's somebody down there. There he goes. There, cross that lane. He gets across it. He's got to keep going. He can't stop there.
And don't get in a gunfight. Don't challenge that. Get down low. That's what Snake's there for. And crawl.
There he is right there. Those you just saw on your screen the guys he was trying to shoot at. But this whole side is blown. If he gets low, he's going to be able to crawl. And then he gets shot out of the bunker. Rookie mistake here by Robert Bowen, as he was in an amazing position and definitely could have won the point for Devastation. Luckily for that team, though, they still have 3 bodies left alive.
And shoot out the last AC402 player.
The Dorito side as well for DC Devastation, though, has to get going in that situation. I mean, he's down there. Both guns turned towards him. Stephen Bright's got to come. I mean, the push ended up coming through the middle on the Dorito side, as you see right there, getting checked out. Sam Haynes made the move up to that Dorito, you know, or in the middle on the 50. But you know, Stephen Bright, you know, he's a smart player over there on the Dorito side. They need to communicate, recognize where the guns are looking.
Communicate or recognize, like you said. It frees up that opportunity when guns aren't on you. Wrap around, find out what's going on. You feel no pressure. Get down the field and relieve the pressure off the snake side so the guns turn back to the Doritos, and it will let Bowen come down into their snake a little bit further. He had the opportunity, rookie mistake, and tried to engage in a gunfight.
So we're in the DC Devastation pits. Right now, the score is tied up 3 apiece. 4 minutes and 20 seconds remain here in this D2 final. It's still anyone's game. We'll be right back.
What's up, Ryan Greenspan here from San Diego Dynasty. I want you guys to go out and support our sponsors by shopping at ansgear.com. Tell them Dynasty sent you.
Welcome back here. We are 4 minutes and 20 seconds away from this particular game ending here, D2 final. It's all tied up at 3 apiece, but we would like to take a second here to send a special message out into the paintball world. Please go and search JF21 Fundraiser. Make sure you spell out the letter of the actual numbers. You can't just put the numbers in. And Jay Ford passed away from cancer. He's a Nexus player. So here we're trying to help out cancer research. So please go and search that out and donate to a really good cause. There's lots of good prizes to win, including a UWL entry to World Cup. So please help out the cancer foundations by supporting JF21. So look at this. Wow.
Off the break.
Was it
AC lost 3 bodies off the break. They lost another guy very quickly. And the back center guy for AC tried to fill out and got a major penalty.
Wow, you got, come on now. You know, we're in the final. It's not the time to be getting penalties. Of course, you never want to get penalties. They are going to come. Penalties are part of the game. You have to fight through them. But AC402, Todd, they've been controlling the tempo of this game, at least through the beginning part. DC Devastation still scrapping, fighting, able to maintain at least enough points to keep it close and then tying it up. But now AC402 throws one away. Timeout called on the field. What do you think?
You know, I like that call, too, by AC402. I believe, you know, Greg Pauly's over there coaching them for him. You know, I thought it was a good time to take that move up the middle, but as soon as the player came out, just came out a little bit too wide and got shot right as he got to the A. If he just tucked in a little bit more, DC Devastation lost their widest guy, which was the mini Dorito on the snake side. If he'd have gotten to that A alive, he could have just been a little bit more patient. He would have came around. He'd have feasted on the DC Devastation back center, but that's not the way the balls broke. He got shot in the goggles. AC402 lost their wide guy, and then a couple bodies died on the Dorito side, and it looked like there was a major thrown right at the end of that point, and there's nobody left to pull, so they may even be starting down a body. Game point DC Devastation.
It is game point DC Devastation. That would be a big win for them. They've won before, and that's one of those teams that, you know, DC Devastation has been reinvigorated past season, and they want to start moving up the ranks. They want to get better. They want to move up the ranks. Those guys are really hungry. Luigi's doing a great job captaining that team. Next up, we have VCK and Revo in the D1 final. And we've seen that before, VCK and Revo. Those are two of the, obviously, the best teams in the Division 1 right now. They're obviously playing in the final. But we consistently keep seeing those guys up there. And it's interesting, though, because in D1, it's kind of a new world with a lot of the top D1 players have, you know, moved, or D1 teams have moved up into the Challengers Division. So it's the Wild Wild West over there. And it apparently the best gunslingers is VCK and Revo. Also like to send a special thanks to PB Nation. They're the world's largest classifieds buy, sell, trade, new and used gear. Also, just any possible thing you want to know about paintball, you can go to PB Nation and check that out. And even some of the pro teams and pro players that you're watching out there have gear on PB Nation. So join the conversation. Head to pbnation.com. 4 minutes and 1 second to go in that incredibly fast point that we had just seen. Let's talk real quick about this Upton 187 Chicago Aftershock Challengers final. Todd, what do you think about those two teams?
Well, Upton 187 has just been dominating people all event again. You know, in the Challengers Division, that's what they did to get back into the Champions Division for last event before they got relegated again back to the Challengers Division. So we know that Upton 187 is a quality team. We think that you know, they're going to come out here and give Aftershock a run for their money, but Aftershock is playing probably the best that we've seen them play in the past 8-9 events. You know, and they got some good pickups. Carl Markowski made a big move to help get them into the finals. And I was talking to Mike Bruno, and he really believes that AJ Lawhead is one of the best players in the game right now.
Hey, AJ Lawhead is no joke. AJ Lawhead is a huge part of that team. But what I like about Aftershock is they just have a ton of weapons. Now, they're playing a 187 crew team that has been back and forth between the Champions Division. You know, they came into the league last year, and they impressed a lot of people with their aggression and they beat some decent teams. They didn't have the year, you know, they weren't winning tournaments, they weren't making finals or semifinals on a regular basis, but for a young team like that, they have some talent. So I think that, you know, this is the second generation. This is the next coming. You know, you got guys on Aftershock trying to reinvigorate that squad with these divisional guys who have now become pro players. And I just can't wait to see that game, which is going to be coming at you after the VCK Revo game. But right now, DC Devastation trying to win this one here. All they need to do is score one more point, and they will get the victory. But they lose 2 off the break. Not looking good for DC Devastation right now.
Against AC that started with 3 players.
Oh, he went out of bounds.
So they matched it up real quick. It's a 3-on-3 situation.
Yeah, that AC402 player looked like he went out of bounds on that. Referee pulls him out. And
that's
so,
a 2-on-3.
yeah, he did a favor for DC Devastation right there because he owned that wire. All he had to do was tuck in tight and crawl all the way down. DC Devastation would not have had an answer for that. Mental mistake right there and a big point by ac402. But DC Dev down. They have 3 bodies left. Luigi Piergolini, Sam Haynes, and Philip Swanson spread across the mini Dorito, the back center, and the Dorito tower. The only 2 bodies left for ac402 are Nathan Roberts and Ross Saunders. Got 1 player here in the mini Dorito. There you see the spread for DC Devastation.
Well, time also starting to play a factor here. With 2 minutes and 48 seconds to go, 1 point separates these 2 teams. But
at 2 minutes, 48 seconds, like you said, DC has the lead. They have the personnel out there. They have the advantage. All they have to do is lock it down.
Yeah,
watch over each other. Watch the lanes. Capitalize when people aren't looking at them because there's only 2 players left.
Oh, looks like he may have gotten bounced heading out to that Dorito corner. DC Devastation, unnecessary move right there, but doing it anyway. Making out there alive, lucky to not get shot. ac402 right there, top right of your screen. There on your screen right now. That's Philip Swanson right there in the mini Dorito. But ac402 in the Dorito corner and the mini Dorito on the snake side. Philip Swanson just gonna stay straight ahead, work on his mirror and not let him bump across.
AC made a nice move up to Dorito 2, now into Dorito 50. And they have to push right now. They are down 1 point, minute 45 left, and he's doing work. I mean, the ball's in your court. If you want to be the man for your team, it's right now, and he's the lone man left right now.
And
Small
there goes.
Dorito Snakeside just got shot.
But that's going to do it. So here comes DC Devastation, and they are able to lock the field up, take the aggression of ac402, and able to win this tournament. So congratulations to DC Devastation. As long as that hang is clean, they will take the victory here in this D1 final. I'm sorry, D2 final. Division 1 finals coming at you next, VCK and Revo. And then after that, Upton 187 Crew, Chicago Aftershock, and then the Champions Division finals to close the tournament out.
From the first couple points, though, you thought AC had the advantage. I mean, they looked like they had the lanes. They looked like they had the players taking real estate. And
Nikki, what do we always say?
That was actually Stephen Bright out there on the field for DC Devastation to close that out.
It's how you finish.
As they start celebrating.
Hey, boys, what do we always say? Don't be perfect, be clutch. It's just one of those things. It's like a mantra out there. And yeah, though ac402 was dictating the pace of this game early on, DC Devastation kept it close and then did the most important moves at the end, and they were able to take this victory. So DC Devastation winning another one here in D2, and they've got to be proud of themselves as they work very hard in order to try to earn their way into the finals, and then when they get there, capitalize on their opportunities and able to take the victory here. And lots of good players. They have a pretty decent amount of depth over there on DC Devastation. I'm still expecting, I think ac402 though, man, I think we're going to continue to see these 2 teams battle it out. And 1 or 2 of them, or either one, could potentially be in the finals in World Cup for sure. It wouldn't surprise me to see both these teams in the finals in World Cup. So
yeah, Steve Rabikoff's got to be a happy dad down there. Brandon Rabikoff getting another win. Justin Rabikoff going to the pro finals.
Yeah,
I mean, it's good.
It's
Another
awesome.
good day in the Rabikoff family.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the blood runs thick with those guys. So let's check in with Lauren Kelly, DC Devastation, the victors, see what they got to say.
Here with Sam Haynes and Chris Swanson of DC Devastation. Congratulations, guys. You got first place. Now, you both were on the field during that last point. What was running through your mind when they had a chance to tie it up?
I knew that they just went to the small Dorito, and I knew I had to keep that guy from going out wide because they only had 3 players. So my main focus was just to contain that guy, and I actually ended up shooting him in the loader when he was battling with me, and then I was able to wrap on the 50 Dorito.
All right, and I know you guys get pretty amped in the pit when you're down a point, when you're up a point. You always have a lot of energy. What does it feel like in the pit for you guys?
It's always crazy. Like, there's never a dull moment, and it's just like you have to come in, even with a lost point, you have to come in and get your head and try and get back out. The best teams can do that today.
So nice job, DC Devastation handling business here to take the D2 final. Next up, we got AC402. I'm sorry, we got VCK gonna be taking on Revo, and then after that, Upton 187 crew in Chicago Aftershock, Matty Marshall with Nikki Cuba, Tom Martinez. We'll see you in just a second.